the last few years, particularly in the time of the present regime in Assam, led by Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, or even his predecessor, Sarbananda Sonowal, in a combination with the center, they have been able to assure the people that this is one government which is going to address the issue of the infiltration and the issue of the fear of being wiped out by the because of the demographic invasion or because of the large-scale infiltration from across the border.
Right.
So this issue has been they have been able to really address this issue from the very beginning of the establishment of this government. And some of the early signs that have been shown was that the traditional religious institutions of Assam, the Vaishnavite monasteries, those have been cleared of cleared of encroachers, most of whom come from that same stock. Similarly,
Hmm.
encroachment in Kaziranga National Park and several other national parks, and the encroachers here were again people of that origin who have been removed from there. So these were the two things which, in fact, uh, made the people believe that yes, this is a government which is going to really address the basic issue.
I
Part
see.
one. Part two, all the other militant groups in the state of Assam have already surrendered. They've signed the MOU with the government. They have settled down and they have with accords and all. And they only the ULFA was left. But the ULFA issue was lingering because the ULFA had split after Arabinda Rajkhowa and Anup Chetia, the chairman and the general secretary respectively, had come out. They were arrested in, they were in detention in Bangladesh and they were handed over, though we do not have a repatriation treaty, but they were handed over after this government came to power. And since then, majority of the ULFA militants have rallied behind them and they have designated themselves as ULFA Pro Talk, leaving Paresh Barua, the chief of the armed wing of the original group, out in somewhere in China or in Myanmar, where he's left with
Hmm.
only about 200, at the most 200 with him. So the majority are here.
Right. So, if you could just once, you were just explaining why, what was the main reason for this accord to have come through at this particular moment? What were the main stumbling blocks that were removed? But subsequent to that, you were also talking about Paresh Barua, and you said that Paresh Barua is no longer a very relevant factor because he has very few people with him. But he can still cause some mischief, right? I mean, he if he wants to, can he sort of derail the accord in some way, perhaps? I mean, or do you think the government might have to sign a separate agreement with him?
I think the government is at the moment trying to isolate him as much as they can. But yes, he
Hmm.
has a nuisance value, definitely. He can cause any kind of mischief. In fact, he did it. He was aware that the talks were in the offing, or the final draft was in the offing. So he sent out
Hmm.
a few boys and they caused a few small explosions here and there. That was a warning that he
Hmm.
gave. But then by doing so, he can only cause a disturbance. He will not be able to get the support of the people as they had tried to manage to do it 20 years or 30 years ago. Because whenever
Hmm.
the Ulfa or particularly Paresh Bora comes into the scene or his name is uttered, the people are generally reminded of a particular incident of 2004, which when they had caused a huge explosion in a town called Dhemaji in eastern Assam, where
Right.
on the Independence Day, and 14 young little children were killed in that. So every time
Right.
people talk about or he tries to attain prominence, the chief minister or the people or even the other people who matter, they
Hmm.
remind that incident, they recall that incident.